She slammed the door so hard the picture frames rattled. My duffel bag hit my chest before I could even open my mouth. "Get out, Eric," she snapped, eyes blazing with that same mix of anger and arrogance I'd come to recognize too well. "You need to learn to respect me." Her words cut sharper than the cold night air spilling through the open doorway. It wasn't the first time. God knows it wasn't even the fifth. Every fight ended the same. Me out on the porch, holding my things, wondering what I'd done wrong this time. But that night something in me cracked. Not loudly. Not violently. Just quietly. Like a rope fraying one thread at a time until you finally hear the last one snap. Lena and I had been married for 9 years. 9 years of love that started like a wildfire and ended like a slow burn of ashes. We met in college. She was confident, magnetic, the kind of woman who could make a room orbit around her. I was quieter, steady, the man who'd carry her home when she drank too much, who'd fix the tire on her car at 2 a.m., who'd believe every promise she made. But somewhere along the way, her love turned conditional, a thing to be earned, not shared. She'd withdraw affection for days, sometimes weeks, when things didn't go her way. It was punishment disguised as pride. And I was the fool who kept coming back. That night, after she threw me out, I sat in my car for a long time. Rain drizzled down the windshield, wipers squeaking back and forth in rhythm with my heartbeat. The silence was heavy. My phone buzzed once, a text from her. "Maybe this time you'll finally think about how you treat me." I stared at the screen. My hands shook. How I treated her. I'd apologized every time. Even when I wasn't wrong. Even when she was the one who'd crossed the line, insulted me in front of friends, or flirted with men at parties just to make me jealous. And like always, I'd return the next day with flowers, begging for peace, as if love was something that could be negotiated like a ceasefire. But that night I didn't go back. Instead, I drove to a cheap motel on the edge of town and checked in under the yellow flicker of a broken sign. The sheets smelled of bleach, the heater rattled, and the silence pressed on my chest until I could barely breathe. For the first time I didn't feel guilty for leaving. Felt free. The next morning she didn't call. Not a single message. "No, where are you?" "No, I'm sorry." Just silence. That was her favorite weapon. Ignoring me until I came crawling back. So I waited. Day 1. Day 2. By day 3, something inside me shifted. I stopped staring at my phone. I started sleeping through the night. I even went for a walk, felt the air without tension pressing on my ribs. But on the 4th day, curiosity got the better of me. I drove by the house. Not to confront her, not to talk, just to see. Her car was in the driveway. The lights were on. And parked beside her car was a black SUV I didn't recognize. My stomach turned cold. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe a friend, maybe a relative visiting. But the longer I sat there, the clearer the picture became. The laughter through the half-open window. A man's voice. Deep, confident. And then her laugh. The one she hadn't used with me in years. That bright, flirtatious sound that used to make me fall in love every morning now made me sick. I stayed there in the dark, headlights off, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. I should have driven away. I should have kept my dignity. But I needed to see. So I waited. An hour later, the lights in the living room dimmed. The curtains closed. And through that small gap left open, I saw her silhouette, close to his. Too close. My heart stopped. I don't remember the drive back to the motel. I just remember the noise in my head. The echo of her voice, the way she'd thrown me out like trash, the SUV parked in our driveway. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. She hadn't thrown me out to teach me a lesson. She'd thrown me out to make room. The next morning I didn't go to work. I called in sick and just sat there staring at the wall. My thoughts were scattered pieces of glass. Sharp, impossible to gather without cutting myself. Then came the text. "So, are you done sulking? You can come back if you're ready to act like an adult." I stared at it for a long time. No apology. No remorse. Just control. As if she was letting me earn my way back in. Typed, deleted, retyped. Finally I just wrote, "No, not this time." Her reply came almost instantly. "Excuse me. You always come back. Don't be dramatic." I didn't answer. I turned off my phone and sat there, staring at the pale morning light creeping through the blinds. For once, she could sit in her own silence. A few days later I went back to the house, not to talk but to pack my things. I waited until I knew she'd be at work. The key still worked, though I half expected her to have changed the locks. Walking through the house was like walking through a crime scene. Every room felt tainted, the faint smell of her perfume, the framed pictures that now looked like lies. Our wedding photo still hung above the fireplace. She was smiling in that white dress, hand in mine, eyes full of promises she'd long since broken. I couldn't stand to look at it. I turned it face down. When I reached the bedroom, my hands froze on the doorknob. Something told me not to open it. But I did. The bed was unmade, sheets tangled, and on the nightstand, a man's watch I didn't recognize. That was it. No more doubts, no more excuses. Packed quietly, methodically. Clothes, documents, laptop, the essentials. I didn't take the ring. I left it on her pillow. That evening she called. Dozens of times. I didn't answer. Then came the texts. First angry, then pleading, then panicked. "Where are you? You're overreacting." "Okay, yes, I had someone over, but it didn't mean anything." "Eric, please. Come home. We can fix this." Each one was a stab wound dressed in sugar. She didn't regret betraying me. She regretted losing control of me. Weeks passed. I moved into a small apartment downtown, closer to work. It wasn't much. One bedroom, second-hand furniture. But it was peaceful. No slammed doors. No silent treatments. No walking on eggshells. I started eating better. Sleeping better. Even smiling again. But healing isn't clean. Some nights I'd still wake up reaching for her side of the bed, forgetting she wasn't there. Other nights I'd scroll through old photos, remembering how she used to hold my hand in public, how she used to look at me like I was her world. Then I'd remember that night. SUV. Laughter. The watch on the nightstand. And I'd let the memory burn until it stopped hurting. 2 months later, she showed up at my apartment. I opened the door and there she was. Makeup smudged, hair messy, holding a bag of takeout like peace offerings. "Eric, please," she whispered. "Can we talk?" I didn't say anything. Just let her stand there. "I made mistakes," she continued, voice trembling. "I pushed you away because I was angry. Insecure. But I love you. You know that, right?" Her eyes searched mine for the old version of me. The one who'd fold, who'd forgive. But that man was gone. "You threw me out," I said quietly. Again and again. And I kept coming back. But this time, I finally learned the lesson. Tears welled in her eyes. "It was a mistake, Eric. I was lonely." "No," I interrupted. "You weren't lonely. You were cruel. There's a difference." She stepped closer, reaching for my hand. I stepped back. "I can't do this anymore, Lena," I said. "You don't get to break me and call it love." Her face hardened. "So that's it. After everything we've been through." He nodded. "Exactly because of everything we've been through." She stood there for a moment, stunned, as if she'd never imagined I could be the one to end it. Then she turned, muttered something under her breath, and walked away. I closed the door and leaned against it, my chest heaving. It wasn't relief I felt at first. It was grief. Grief for the years I'd wasted trying to fix someone who didn't want to be fixed. Grief for the man I used to be. Patient, loyal, blind. But beneath the grief was something else. Something lighter. Freedom. Months passed. Filed for divorce. She didn't fight it. Word reached me that she'd moved in with the man from the SUV. The same man she'd sworn didn't mean anything. I didn't care anymore. Because sometimes the greatest revenge isn't anger or hate. It's indifference. It's waking up one morning, making coffee in peace, and realizing you finally stopped checking your phone to see if she called. The day the divorce papers came through, I went for a drive. The air smelled of rain, the sky wide and open. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe without permission. She threw me out to teach me a lesson. And she did. Just not the one she intended. I learned that love without respect isn't love. That silence can be louder than shouting. And that sometimes walking away doesn't mean defeat. It means survival. That night, I stood by the window of my new place, looking out at the city lights, and whispered to no one in particular. Thank you for throwing me out. Because she did me the biggest favor of all. She set me free.